I don't know if Colin Cowherd's trolling or if Mark Rodgers is giving him a speech to read, but we're hearing what sounds like some more friction between the Seahawks and Russell Wilson through Colin Cowherd. Here is what Colin Cowherd had to say about why the Jamal Adams trade actually took place.
Pete desperately pushed for John Snyder, the GM, to make this deal because Russell was getting all the love, the offense, Russ is cooking, and the defense had no pass rush, so they gave up 2 firsts, a player, and a third for a safety. And I like Jamal Adams. He's a playmaker. I mean, he had like 9 sacks last year, 9.5. I like him a lot. But the left tackle on this football team is more valuable than Jamal Adams.
That's a long way of getting to the actual point he was trying to make.
Come on. Wait, is this timeline right? Is this timeline right? Russ was getting all the praise and Russ was cooking. Did they trade for him in the middle of the season? No, they traded for him before training camp opened. What's he talking about?
How insecure is Mark Rodgers about Russell Wilson's place? That
Paul's
he feels that
Paul's gone straight to conspiracy theories.
Well,
He's
it's
like,
not.
Colin Cowherd is Mark Rodgers' ventriloquist dummy.
Where do you think this is coming from? Yes, I am. Where do you think this is coming from? Why is this coming now? I mean, just think about how stupid that is to operate that way. And we know Pete Carroll. Is it possible that there are some things that Russell Wilson does that rubs Pete the wrong way? Absolutely. But to push for a trade for a defensive player when your defense was terrible the season before because Russ was getting all the love? But go back to that Super Bowl, too. Wait, they wanted to give Russ all the love so they didn't hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch. Make up your damn mind.
We've gone full circle, haven't we? We've
Yes.
gone full circle from the players and people around the team in 2015 who thought that this was a conspiracy to protect Russ and coddle the quarterback and he wasn't subjected to now the franchise is so determined to sully the shine of Russell Wilson and make sure he doesn't stand out that they're going to make bad trades for good players.
And I want to make it clear, I'm not pointing a finger at Russell Wilson at all right now. I think Mark Rodgers also is very good as an agent, clearly, because this is the stuff that's been coming out over the last couple of days, where there's essentially a sense of now that Russell Wilson is willing to take a restructure to help the Seahawks extend Duane Brown or Jamal Adams, which we heard yesterday, right?
Wait. He needs to be willing? He needs to agree to that?
No, he doesn't. That's the funny part about it all, Danny, but we heard that put out there in that piece in the Seattle Times. Oh, Russell Wilson is willing to take a restructure. Guess what? They don't need to restructure him to extend Jamal Adams. The only reason that would be put out there is to put pressure on the Seahawks to extend both Jamal Adams and Duane Brown. And I know the tinfoil hat right now in my head is perhaps rather pointy, or it's to make the Seahawks look bad for not giving an extension to those two and for taking their time. Colin Cowherd continued, perhaps through the advice of one Mark Rodgers, saying that Pete Carroll is not pushing nearly as hard for Duane Brown as Jamal Adams. Why? Because of his ego being tied to his defense.
Pete Carroll is not pushing nearly as hard for Duane Brown, Russell Wilson's left tackle, a much more important position than he is Jamal Adams, a safety. Why? Because Pete's ego is tied to his defense, and his defense in the last several years has not been very good, and Pete's been called out for running a defensive style the league has moved past. And so he's fighting for this Jamal Adams contract to get done.
He's getting what he wants because we're playing this. We're playing this, and we're reacting to it.
I would honestly, I would like someone to play that for Earl Thomas. I would like someone to play that for Richard Sherman. I would like someone to play that for Michael Bennett and all of the other players who feel that the Seahawks have moved past them or discarded them, and to say that Pete, try and tell them with a straight face that Pete is so fixated on his defense that he's willing to err on that side of the ball when it comes to the decisions that have been made. That's hilarious.